All right, I think we're good. So thank you guys so much for coming. It is so nice to meet you all. I know lots and lots of people asked for the recording, so if you're watching on the recording, feel free to shoot me questions or whatever after, because you're not here to ask them live. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so we can do a quick little presentation and then get into your questions. Can you guys, nope, you cannot see that. Please hold. I want to figure this out. Okay, let's see. If I click present though, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Any of my live folks, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wait, I can't hear you now. What did I do? Oh gosh. Guys, I swear I'm a teacher. You're like, this lady doesn't know how to use Zoom. Okay, I'm back. Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, sorry about that. So just like a little teeny tiny bit about me, I am a teacher. I teach online. I've always taught online, unlike probably many of you who are switching to online teaching right now. But I've always taught online for the past 2 years, I guess. I taught brick and mortar for 4 years, and then 2 years ago I switched to online teaching, and I love it. K-12, it's like the best job ever. Highly recommend if you're looking for a change. But I love it. It's amazing. So not much has changed for me on that front. Still teaching 5 days a week in the mornings, and then the rest of the day I kind of use to work on my nutrition business. So I'm a nutritionist, and NTP means a nutritional therapy practitioner and a certified personal trainer. So that's my jam. That's what I love doing. So that's just a little snippet about me. My business is called Well From Within, and I'll send you a little link if you want to check it out. I have lots of workouts, recipes, all that good stuff on there. If you want to check those out later. And if you guys have any questions like as I'm going, please just stop me. And of course, that picture isn't gonna load. That's cool. So what is hypothyroidism? So I think all of you guys probably already know this because you're here and you have some of these concerns, right? I just want to kind of go over if someone's like, I don't really know what that is. The cause is usually due to antibodies attacking the thyroid gland. Not always, but that's typically what we see. So the very first thing I want anyone who is watching this to think about and ask themselves and ask their doctor is, do I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis? Because that's a big indicator as to how you should address it. And I'm not saying that like you need to run to your doctor right now, but obviously like next time you go, ask for a full thyroid panel. Because there's a difference between TSH and a full thyroid panel. And what this beautiful picture was all the labs that you should get done. But I will send it to you. I'm going to send a follow-up email and I'll include that picture in there so you can see what those labs are. And there's actually a difference between the optimal levels and the normal levels. So they might just say, hey, your labs are normal, but they're not optimal. So they won't tell you that. So I'm gonna give you a little cheat sheet to look at your labs and see, are they actually optimal and not just like, am I surviving? Nobody wants that. We wanna do more than just survive. And then the symptoms, like very common symptoms, are fatigue, hair loss, brittle nails, skin issues, mood swings, digestive, weight issues, cholesterol, menstrual issues, muscle pain, joint pain. The list can go on, but I want to know from you guys, do you feel like, yes, this stuff is kind of like spot on, or no, that's not really what I'm experiencing?
This is Tracy. I've been diagnosed with like normal thyroid, but like you said, not optimal. So okay. I've had fertility. I have brittle nails. I have high cholesterol. I have joint pain and muscle pain, and they at one point put me on thyroid medication, but then when I tried to get pregnant, they told me I had to get off of it and then they refused
Okay.
to put me back on it. So
Gotcha. Okay. So how did you feel when you were on thyroid medication?
I felt much better. I could definitely had some weight loss. Of course, I was younger because that was more than 10 years ago. So I was like, just generally feeling better. Like now I'm in
Yeah.
my mid to late 40s, but I felt better. I finally could lose weight. I wasn't doing a whole lot different than I feel like I'm doing now,
Mm-hmm.
as far as being able to lose weight. But oh my gosh, the weight just like came off, and it just was,
Yeah.
it was nice. It was like
Yeah.
getting success for things that I'd been doing for same thing for years. I mean, before that I had trained for a marathon, trained and ran a marathon,
Oh,
and I lost like 10 pounds in the months that I'm training for a marathon. And I was, pretty heavily overweight. So it was very disappointing to go through all that training and all of that. I'd been on a 1,200 calorie a day diet during that time and running, 15, 20 miles a week, and,
mhm.
and nothing was happening. So it was just very difficult.
Yeah, totally. That sounds really frustrating for sure. Michelle or Kristen, do you guys feel like the hypothyroidism symptoms, like you've been diagnosed, you know this, you have questions about it, anything like
Oh, I have a couple of those symptoms, and then they put me on medicine, and I've been on medicine for years now because actually I had the infertility the most.
that? Okay.
But even with medicine, I can't drop a pound, but man, I look at a donut and I just gained 10.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, I wonder, because there are obviously different types of medication and whatnot. Normally it does make it easier. So yeah, that would be something like more individual to you that we could talk about.
Yeah, and I don't think they've ever done a full panel before when they've tested me. I
Oh,
think it's just been
really?
the TSH.
Okay, yeah, and when I send that email, definitely look at those labs that I'm gonna send and ask your doctor about them.
Okay.
Hi, Bethany. Thanks for coming.
Hi,
Hi, sorry.
sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I
Thanks
walked
for.
away and then my husband said, someone's asking questions.
Oh,
So,
no, that's okay. Hey, we're casual. This is just for what you guys need, so no worries. But yeah, we were kind of just talking about like, what of these symptoms do we know we have, or like, do we identify with this at all?
kind of in a good place now. We're supposed to have another cholesterol test, but
Okay.
never squeezed it in.
Mm-hmm.
Probably still some muscle and joint pain,
Mm-hmm.
which is funny. I'm 51. So I've been kind of going through the change.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I didn't have it for 3 months and then it was like crazy heavy.
Oh, wow.
This time I didn't have it since January.
Yeah.
I used to get what I would call period leg every month. And I
Okay.
didn't know if I hurt myself or because my mom fractured her kneecap, so I've been her right hand woman. So I didn't know if I did something and then I got my period again. I'm like, that's what it was. So I get sort of a behind the leg and knee pain.
Okay.
Luckily, it wasn't that bad this month. So
Oh,
getting
man.
closer to the end, maybe.
Yeah. That's so hard. And that just like really goes to show how everyone's experiences can be so different. Like,
Mhm.
the symptoms are so wide and can really just show up in so many different forms, which is why it's kind of hard to diagnose. And also, I'm more of like, I have a holistic training background. So I kind of look at the bigger picture when I am working with clients, and I know doctors, like, they just don't have time and they're not trained that way. So a lot of times things that should be addressed aren't because they don't necessarily know or have time. So yeah, that's kind of crazy, that leg pain.
Yeah. I guess it's inflammation that just kind of peaks at that time. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of different causes. I'll talk more about like the symptoms and stuff, and how to kind of figure it out a little bit later. So we'll try and come back to that for sure. And so the 3 ways that you need to address hypothyroidism when you're like, I'm at the end of my rope, I don't know what to do. Maybe you've been to the doctor and it just hasn't really helped. So nutrition, obviously, that's what I do. And I think food is huge. And there's so much that you can do to heal with food, but it's not the whole picture. Number 2, lifestyle. I'd actually probably move that above nutrition if I was going to do an order, because lifestyle, like your sleep and your stress, are probably the 2 biggest components. So if you're not sleeping well, you can't heal. If you're stressed out all the time, like that's only perpetuating the problem. So those 2 are like the huge ones. Movement, of course, is always a big deal, but we don't want to exercise too much. We don't want to do too little. We kind of got to find that sweet spot. And then medication is super important for thyroid issues. And I know a lot of people don't want to take them because like, oh, I don't want to be on medication. And I totally get that, but it's different because the medication that you get when you're on thyroid meds is like what your body should be making. You know, it's not some pill that's like your body's never seen before. It's what your thyroid should be doing for you, and it just isn't. So sometimes you can come off of it if your thyroid heals and is able to start producing those hormones again. But if not, like, it's fine to be on thyroid meds for life. And I want you to ask your doctor for more information because I am not a doctor. But does anyone have any questions about those before we dive in a little deeper?
Nope.
All right, cool. Oh, well, this picture showed up, so that's cool. So just the nutrition basics. This is like what I would do with pretty much anyone, but especially if we have like a thyroid or autoimmune condition. The 12 beneficial healing foods, this is from the Thyroid Pharmacist. I did not make this. She is a great follow. So her name is Isabella Wentz, but that's her website. So I would highly recommend following her because she's like the thyroid guru. So these are some really good foods if you just want to, I can actually send it to you so you have it in your email, but if you want to write them down real quick, those are some really good healing foods for thyroid in general. And then some other things that I would do with pretty much anyone is figure out what are our sensitivities, like what foods not sit well with us, what foods make us inflamed and not feel well. Common ones, I think most of us probably know some of these: gluten, dairy, soy, vegetable oils, refined sugar. Those are all pretty commonly known inflammatory foods. Nightshades and eggs are not as well known, but very, very inflammatory. And nightshades are a type of plant that are like really healthy foods, but they're just really inflammatory for some people. So like peppers, tomatoes, eggplant, goji berries, like all these random really healthy foods can actually really not sit well with us. So I found that when I was like, I eliminated all of these foods except for nightshades. And then finally I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. So that can be one. And then adding in the nutrient dense foods, so the really high quality, really good for you, like the healthy fats. Don't be afraid of fat. If you have more questions about that, please let me know, but don't be afraid of fat. It's the best thing for you. Grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, leafy greens, bone broth, like all of those super nutrient dense foods that have just, they pack a punch. We want to add in as much as we can because that will help the thyroid to heal. Another thing is just eat enough food. So I honestly say a minimum of 2,000 calories a day for anyone. Your basal metabolic rate is probably around 1,000, give or take. And that means what your body would do without any movement whatsoever. So 1,000 minimum. And then when we just walk throughout the day, whether we're exercising or just like normal daily life, that's probably another 1,000 or so. So I say minimum 2,000 calories, and people are usually like, what are you talking about? But when your body feels like it's starving, which is what happens when we're eating too little, then it holds on to weight. It's like, no, we have to hold on to this because we're in a famine. So I know it's not intuitive, but eating enough is actually super important to be able to lose weight. So that's just something to think about. Drinking water with electrolytes. Electrolytes are just like, you could put some sea salt, some lemon, something in your water in every single glass that you drink to make sure that you're actually getting hydrated. And then balancing out your macros. So I like to approach it first with like this general 40-30-30 is 40% fat, 30% protein, 30% carbs. But then with each individual, we kind of have to figure out what works best for them. I know that was a lot, but does anyone have any questions about those nutrition topics?
We take the Vital Proteins
Yeah.
collagen powder. Do you think that's a trusted brand?
Yes, I take Vital Proteins.
And it's okay putting it in coffee so heat doesn't thing?
No, I think any way that you have it is great.
Perfect.
Good question. Anybody
Also,
else? Oh yeah, good.
I haven't given up gluten.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a horrible, horrible thing?
No, nothing is horrible. Like there's no good or bad. It's just an experiment to try, I think, to see how you feel, because a lot of people don't think they have a reaction to it, right? They're like, oh, well, I don't have digestive issues, which is like what people normally say, like, oh, I don't bloat, or I don't have, these issues. But it can manifest in so many different ways, and it can be affecting your thyroid. So since you do have these particular issues, I would just recommend experimenting with it, like taking it out for, I'd say, at least 3 weeks, preferably a month, but at least 3 weeks, and just seeing what you notice. A lot of people notice like the joint pain, the muscle pain, headaches go away, brain fog clears up. Like there's a whole lot of things that we might not really notice until we feel better.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, if you do, let me know how it goes. I'm so interested.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else have questions about that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What would you suggest for the drinking water with electrolytes? Like what
Yes.
does that look like?
I honestly, what I do, so you can see this delicious looking beverage right here. So every morning I have like a really gross drink of water, collagen, salt, apple cider vinegar, and lemon. And I do that at the beginning of the day just to make sure, like, even if I forget to drink water, like I have this one really packed glass. But when I drink water throughout the day, I always add salt. And it needs to be like a sea salt or a Himalayan salt or something like that that actually has minerals in it and not like iodized table salt. But yeah, I just put like, I don't even know, some shakes in there, some shakes of sea salt. Sometimes I'll add lemon if I want a little flavor, but those are my two because they're so easy, they're cheap, and it really makes a difference. Like if you feel like you're running to the bathroom all day, every day, when you start adding salt to your water, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I don't have to pee every 5 seconds. So it's nice. It's really helpful for when you go back to the classroom.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally. I saw someone just came in. Welcome. Hi, Ashley. Thanks for coming. All right, cool. Well, keep asking questions if you have them, but I do want to just get through this real quick. This is, again, lifestyle tips. This is something that I really work with my clients on a lot because nutrition is something that we can really control, like, pretty easily. I'm not saying it's easy to change your diet, but I'm saying we have complete control over what we eat, whereas sleep and stress are sometimes out of our control, right? So that's something that I really work with my clients a lot on because it makes a huge difference. And so just sleeping more, stressing less, moving our bodies enough to where, we're getting the benefits of exercise. But one thing that people don't realize is that stress is stress. Like good stress, bad stress, your body sees it the same. So we don't want to overload our body when we're already having issues at work, or we're not sleeping enough, or we have these inflammatory foods in our diet. When we add too much exercise, that's actually counteracting, like it's just adding to our stress load. So that's one thing that I always try to make sure, like, more is not more when we talk about exercise, especially with hypothyroid, because you're already so drained and fatigued. It's not what your body needs. You need a little bit of gentle movement and we don't need to be doing triathlons when we're still in the thick of it. Once your body heals, you know, that's totally different. But then connecting with your people, like there's something to be said about community, and I think we all realize that now more than ever. That it is just so important for our mental health to be connecting with other humans. And there's so many so many studies done on people who heal quicker, who have like a support system, right? So having your people is super important. Any questions about those? All right, cool. So resources, these are the 2 women that I want you to go follow, like look them up, follow their website, their Instagram, whatever, wherever you're at, because they're genius women and they are my thyroid go-tos. So anytime I work with a client with hypothyroid, I'm on their website, like doing research, making sure I'm up to date on all of the new research and that kind of stuff. So Isabella Wentz and Jolene Brighton. And again, I'll send this to you so you have them if you're not able to write it down right now. So if that was just overwhelming, because I know I just packed like 6 months of nutrition work into a 10-minute little spiel. If you're like, oh my gosh, where do I start? First thing is start just doing your research on those women's websites. They have a million blogs. They're amazing, smart people. So do your research and then talk to your doctor about getting new labs done if you need them. If you've like recently had them, don't worry about it. If you've never had a full thyroid panel, especially the antibodies is the one I really want you guys to talk to your doctor about, because they won't always run your antibodies if they don't think you have Hashimoto's, but there's a lot to it. So make sure you do your research, talk to your doctor about labs. Number 2, start slowly with eliminating the inflammatory foods. So if like you know for a fact that you do not feel well when you eat, I don't know, eggs, like let's cut out eggs first. Or like if you know for a fact there's something that doesn't make you feel well or isn't good for you, let's cut that first. And then just kind of go down the list that I'll send you of like those foods that we talked about that can be really inflammatory and prevent our body from healing. Because when we're continuing to eat those, the antibodies are going to continue to attack the thyroid. So we don't want that. But start slow, because we don't want to overhaul your whole life in one in one fell swoop. And then sleep, 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 and stress less. Pretty simple, not easy things to do, but pretty simple. Like you don't have to be a genius to know to eat right, to sleep, and to move your body and all that. So they're really simple tips, but they are really, really powerful. So does anyone have questions over anything that we discussed? You know, that was a whole lot of stuff. Or like specifics about your experience with hypothyroidism, or like if you have specific questions about your needs, your nutrition.
Can you share? Oh, Tracy, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, okay, so what happens? Okay, I'm at the age of the change of life, right? Menopause, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, I've had a partial hysterectomy. So I haven't had a period in years, but I still have my ovaries and I still have hormones that, you know, of course, are flowing.
Right.
So I feel like, I don't know if I'm going through the change, or I don't know where I am hormonally. So is there a benefit to finding out any of that information to see how that's affecting everything? Or yeah, what do I do?
Yeah, I would for sure get like a full hormone panel. So that's even different than a thyroid panel. So I would get a full hormone panel done. Literally everything that your doctor will test. And I don't know, doctors are all different, but a lot of doctors will not do that. They might say like, oh, you don't need that, or, you know, XYZ. I would just go like find someone who will run those panels for you and interpret them for you, because your hormones are your life, you know, so that could be super important for you, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and I usually recommend like for that because I don't do hormone panels. I can read a thyroid panel just because I've been through it so many times, but hormones, like all the hormones are not my specialty for sure. But I usually recommend a like a functional medicine practitioner, which I'll send you guys a link on how to find one in your area. They are the best of the best, in my opinion. And they will actually like dig deep to find the root cause. That's their job instead of like pushing medicine and whatnot, unless it's needed, you know. So I'll send you guys a link on how to find that kind of doctor if you're interested. um, was there anything else, Tracy, or?
No. Yeah, if you could help me with functional medicine, that would be
Yeah,
great. I live in like the
totally.
middle of nowhere, so.
Right, and a lot of them will do virtual meetings too, so
Okay.
that's a positive.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally. Kristen, did you have a question?
Yep, I didn't think, I'm not sure if you mentioned iodine. What are your thoughts?
That's a great question. I was actually reading an article from one of those two women, saying that like in normal foods, like in normal quantities, I mean, iodine is fine, but you definitely don't want to supplement with iodine or like go crazy with iodine. So like, yeah, it's healthy and normal, like small quantities, but definitely don't go crazy because it can trigger more antibodies to attack the thyroid. So just like a normal amount, you don't have to like eliminate it completely. Good question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, I missed the first 10 minutes, so
Yeah,
sorry about
totally.
that. I don't know if you talked about like, a person's like personal history, but um, I, the last couple of times I had my thyroid tested, or my TSH actually, it was always on the low end
Mm-hmm.
of, the normal range, which of
Yeah.
course is, a large range.
Yeah.
But it was always on the super low end, but still within the what they would consider normal range.
Mm-hmm.
And when I jumped on today, you had the list up of like symptoms or whatever, like, and I
Yes.
can identify with most of the things on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Probably all but maybe like two of them.
Oops.
And let's see, a year and a half ago, I saw someone new, and she saw that my number was low, and it was consistently low, the TSH, and was like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
let's check this out." And I had an ultrasound done on my thyroid, and they found some nodules. They asked, then I had a procedure where they aspirated them to see like what kind of cells they were. Everything was fine, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had to switch healthcare providers because I took insurance from my school.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I went to another doctor, and she was like, I don't know, it was just interesting to see the difference on how the two doctors like saw those numbers. Like the one was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, these are really low. I'm going to do something about it." And this one I saw, like, she did so much talking in that appointment. I don't even know like what happened. Like I
Oh
couldn't
no.
get a word in. It was ridiculous. And I
Uh,
was like, she was like, "Oh, you're fine, everything's fine, whatever, you're healthy, you're fine." I'm like,
mm-hmm.
okay. And she was like trying to get out of the room as fast as she could. It was just so weird. But anyway,
I'm sorry.
I just have been frustrated, with all
Yeah.
of that, because I feel like, there is something going on, and I don't know if it is, if it is this issue, this hypothyroidism or what. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things, happened in the last couple of years with just, school and whatever life things. And so I feel like things have changed for me,
Mm-hmm.
physically, and it's something's going on. So
Yeah, and
I'm trying to,
you know yourself better than your doctor does. So I just encourage you to be your own advocate and continue to look for a doctor. And like I said, I'll send a little link on how to find a functional medicine practitioner, someone that I would highly recommend even without knowing them, just because they they get to the root cause of what's going on, and they're just really good doctors. So I'll send you a link for that, because yes, I think you are on the right track, and I think you should have a full lab, full like thyroid labs done, because as you can see here, this is the picture that was supposed to be up on the screen that didn't pop up. So I just wanted to show you guys, these are the differences between the optimal ranges, like you were saying, Bethany, and the normal. So like PSH, if you're in the low end of 0.4 to 5.5, like really the low end is 0.5, you know what I mean? Or free T3 or free T4, look at this difference, 9 to 23, like 9 is normal, but really 15 is optimal. So like, as you can see, there's just a really big difference between what is standard and normal and what is actually optimal and gonna make you feel great. So yeah, and I'll send this in that follow-up email so you guys can have a copy of it. But yeah, that's what I was trying to show you in my presentation, but it just didn't work. So I'll send that to you in an email. But yeah, definitely I would continue to pursue that, Bethany.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk more with you individually too. Oh wait, did I share my screen again? No. Yeah, if anyone literally has questions about like your personal questions that you don't really want to ask right now, I totally get that. And you can just email me after the fact and ask your questions there. I want to give you my contact because I feel like we're going to get kicked out here in a second, but my website is wellfromwithin.co. My email is alexi@wellfromwithin.co. And then my very new and improved program that I created is called Fit from Home. And it's meal plans, workouts, nutrition education, lifestyle tips, PDF downloads, resources, like it's packed full. And it's going to be like a membership style where you have a month, you get a month of content at a time. So it's $29 a month, but you can cancel at any time. And it really is just to make your life easier, put like all of the vital information that you need into one place instead of making you go on a wild goose chase and run around everywhere. It's kind of like a one-stop shop for fitness, food, nutrition, like all of it in one place. So if you're not able to work with someone one-on-one, because I know it's expensive, this is a really, really affordable option. So I just wanted to give you that website as well, wellfromwithin.teachable.com. But yeah, that is pretty much the work that I do with my clients in you know, a group form. So if you are interested in that, let me know. I can answer any questions. Or if you're like, no, I need personalized help, like one-on-one help, I also do that. I have a client right now who's going through all of the thyroid testing and whatnot. We're digging into it. So I'm really excited to be able to share this information with you because I've seen it help so many people and I just want to be able to help you. So I hope that this was informative. I know it was really quick, but I'll send you all of this information again. And then if you're like, no, wait, I have a question, just email me and I would be happy to answer. But before we get kicked out, does anyone have any last minute questions?
Nope, just wanted to say a quick thank you so much.
Yeah, totally.
Yes, thank you very much. You have a paper full of notes already.
Oh, good. Yay. Awesome. Anyone else before we go? I'm so thankful that you all came here today. It was so nice to meet you all virtually.
Same.
All right. Well, then I will let you guys go. I know we're all busy, we got stuff to do, but I am so thankful to have met you, and I will send a follow-up email with hopefully even more resources because in 40 minutes, there's only so much that I can say. So I'll try and send you some more resources for you and maybe a free meal plan or something like that to get you started on this hypothyroid life.
Thank you so much. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you're
Thank
set.
you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yep, you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.